Overall, the house is very livable. The inside is open and airy. The use of natural daylight is wonderful. And they've expanded the inside space by the use of outside covered decks. But now for the tough questions. The same era that was known for its fine craftsmanship was also known for its decimation of old-growth forests. Now, David, it looks like you cut down some pretty large old-growth trees to provide these beams.
That was actually the look that we wanted, but that's not what we did. These actually are glued laminated beams that are laminated layers of smaller pieces of trees. And they come from a managed forest and smaller trees, so we didn't devastate any old-growth forest at all to get this look.
Once the beams were assembled, they roughed up the sides with a one-of-a-kind machine, then applied stain.
We used all water-based stains and semi-transparent stains and so on. And outside on the outdoor wood, we used weather treatment that is environmentally friendly.
Since roughly 60% of the house is new, the builders conserved their wood use in a couple of ways. They used second-growth cedar as siding by punching out the knots and finger joining the pieces. Inside the walls, they used thinner 1 1/4-inch studs in place of normal studs where possible. This helped them to reduce their wood consumption by 5%.
We used drywall throughout the whole house that has a good portion of recycled content in it, including the paper and the core of the drywall. And the insulation is recovered from older buildings and has been remanufactured and blown into the walls for the house too.
The remodelers met one of the most stringent energy codes in the United States. The ceiling has an insulative value of R38, the walls R21, and the floor R19. The windows have a high-performance sunglass that exceeds the code requirement with a U value rating of 0.32. In the kitchen, an assortment of ideas are offered, from resource efficiency to healthier materials.
Well, this is a new EcoCycle sink, and it has a composting chute built right in between the two generous-sized bowls. And down below is a bucket that collects the compost, and so it's handy to take right out to the garden, which we have a vegetable garden just a few steps outside the back door there.
Incorporating a compost chute next to the primary kitchen sink eliminated the need for a garbage disposal, an important step in reducing solids in the wastewater. Urea formaldehyde-based glues used in plywood, particle board, and other manufactured wood products can cause serious health problems and is most often concentrated in underlayment and in kitchen cabinets.
Well, formaldehyde is a problem in frameless cabinets where the boxes are constructed out of particle board or medium density fiberboard. We were able to find a medium density fiberboard that is made without any formaldehyde glues, and it's made out of 80% pre-consumer recycled product.
Pre-consumer recycled is one of those buzzwords in the industry that refers to how wood scraps from the mill are ground into sawdust, cleaned, combined with a synthetic resin, and compacted into sheets, perfect for interior covered surfaces. The cabinet doors, however, were cut from locally grown timber.
Well, we used a western knotty pine that's a local wood and very available. It's kind of in keeping with the whole concept of the craftsman movement of the early part of the century. Use locally available materials so you're not paying to truck them in from far away, and celebrate the natural beauty of them. Don't try and make them something that they're not, overly perfect, and use the color variations, the grain variation of the relatively young wood to your advantage. We put a pale celadon green wash over it to keep it from yellowing, as pine will, and then combined it with the stainless steel that you see here, which is a big contrast, but that's the point of bringing high technology together with old-fashioned quality. This flooring in this room is very interesting because this is saved flooring from the original house. And we took up the old oak hardwood flooring and refinished it clear. So it has a wonderful, lovely patina to it.
Nice use of reused product. Tell me a little bit about the pine paneling. It's just beautiful.
This pine paneling is called blue stain pine, and those stains that you see are actually mineral streaks. And normally that pine paneling would be considered not good enough for sale. But we think it adds a lot of character and beauty, and we tried to pick up on the color a little bit. We put a pale whitewash on the walls and then repeated the same color in the wood Venetian blinds as the blue streaking.
the remodelers paid equal attention to the floor surfaces in the other parts of the house.
The carpeting that we've used throughout the house is 100% wool, and the underlayment underneath that is made out of recycled newspapers. Elsewhere through the house we've used natural stone or ceramic tile or hardwoods, and there's no vinyl in this house.
At the base of the stairs in the basement, what is that?
We used salvaged broken slate tile out of a garbage bin, and we just made it look like random slate tile, and that's why it's very colorful, because it's just whatever broke in shipments and was tossed into this big bin.
So you can really create beautiful things out of other people's garbage.
Yeah, it really has a lot of character.
David's solar-oriented design provides a strong source of natural daylight in nearly every room.
Well, the small windows have a southern exposure. They allow natural light to flood the house. And here in the retreat that we're in, we also have interior windows that allow that light that comes in through the outside windows to flow into other interior spaces. Your sense of space goes beyond the window, sort of through the wall as it may be, and then the light bounces back and forth.
At first glance, the house appears to be very accommodating of environmental concerns. After the break with Ray Pavlik, the landscaper, I'll be joined with 4 experts who evaluate the 4 categories of our report card.
The environmental remodeler question of the week is, how many gallons of rainwater can be collected on the 4,000 square foot roof per day with Portland's average daily rainfall of 0.09 inches? 56 gallons, 112 gallons, or 225 gallons? The answer coming up after this.
What is a roof? For landscaper Ray Pavlik, it's a giant rainwater collector. He uses it to water the entire landscape.
We can take all the water that comes off of the roof and we drain it down into a tank down below. We pump it from that tank up to this tank right here. And then
The high end of the property,
at the high end of the property, which gives us more pressure. And from there, we simply irrigate all the lawn and shrubs in each individual plant. Your lawn is probably going to take probably 75% of the water, and then all the rest of the plants throughout the rest of the entire landscape, which is about 5,000, 6,000 square foot of plants, take the rest of the water.
So this system could provide year-round water, even in a drought
No
year?
question about that.
Okay.
Fortunately, we do have a backup system in case you have a real prolonged drought system. You can get an influx of city water.
How practical is this?
It's probably not as practical as it will be in years to come. We've just started on the idea, and I think with technology as it's advancing and things like this, that it will become more practical as years go by.
With today's 0.09 inches of rain, you will collect 225 gallons of water.